But there are major problems with spending in this district, and we're all sitting around pretending that we just need to go ask for more money. It's going to solve it. That's not going to solve it.
Fireworks over the weekend as the Metro School Board held a retreat to plot strategy for asking the Metro Council for more money for schools.
Until we clean up our own house, we can't go do that, and I can't support it. We got to clean up what we're looking at now.
During that meeting, long simmering tensions between school board member Amy Frog and Metro Schools Director Dr. Shawn Joseph finally boiled over.
Shawn, you have lied to us
over
over and over again. I'm just telling you, this is, you have lied to us. All right, well, we're going to have the conversation.
Tonight, amid that ongoing debate about your money, a months-long News Channel 5 investigation uncovers startling new evidence.
It reveals that Metro Schools broke state law in giving a $1 million no-bid contract to a company that the schools director knows well.
Then Joseph's team misled the school board about key aspects of the district's deals with that company. Our chief investigative reporter, Phil Williams, continues to follow the money.
This slickly produced video touts how computer software developed by the company Performance Matters was used by school officials in Prince George's County, Maryland to track student achievement.
In Prince George's County, we look at our data very closely.
Dr. Shawn Joseph had been featured in the company's promotions. He had even been the keynote speaker at a Performance Matters conference. 2 years later, Joseph was hired as the director of Metro Schools. And just 6 weeks into his term, Joseph's calendar shows he was meeting with Performance Matters salesman Rocky Sams. Chief Academic Officer Monique Felder emailed staff saying Dr. Joseph wants to pilot Performance Matters in the priority schools. Those are the district's lowest performers.
Multiple employees were coming to me with serious concerns about Performance Matters.
School board member Amy Frog says the relationship between Joseph and Rocky Sams quickly became the talk of central office.
There were conversations along the lines of, we've got Dr. Joseph on speed dial. If you don't do this, we'll call your boss, that kind of thing.
Internal emails obtained by News Channel 5 Investigate show that veteran employees were not sure what Performance Matters could do that the school system's own data warehouse didn't already do. One wrote, "No one here really knows what the intent is for this." Another agreed, "My first impression was it was simply a way of presenting data in the data warehouse pretty." A top administrator answered, "I don't know the rationale for moving in this direction other than our new leadership has experience with it and likes the product."
Those are exactly the kinds of concerns that I was hearing.
And the emails also showed that a competitor got wind that Performance Matters was in the building and wanted to know whether it would have a chance to compete for the district's business. Metro Schools official Paul Chingus assured her, "I expect a request for proposals process and an opportunity for vendors to have the same opportunity to bid." But that never happened.
What I have seen time and again with this administration is that our employees are trying to do the right thing, but the administration has shown that they've been willing to skirt the rules.
Instead, Joseph's team convinced the school board to give Performance Matters what turned out to be a $1 million contract without giving any other company a chance to compete.
I would ask the board to please vote for this one.
Joseph and his team defended the no-bid contract, saying they had engaged in a practice called piggybacking, in this case duplicating a Performance Matters contract with Orange County Schools in Florida, which had been put out for bids. Advocates argue piggybacking can help governments save money, but former Baltimore County School Superintendent Dallas Dance, who was one of Joseph's mentors, was sentenced to 6 months in jail last year for failing to disclose money he took from a vendor. Court records show Dance steered no-bid contracts to that vendor using the piggyback method.
We have had people across the country do bad things. We have not.
Now, the way I read the code, it does not speak to piggybacking on contracts outside the state.
Dennis Dykes was one of the top auditors for the state of Tennessee, heading the division that watchdogs local governments. He notes that state law only authorizes piggybacking on contracts of other governmental units of the state. Metro Schools now admits piggybacking on the Florida contract did violate state law. But that was not the only contract that Dr. Joseph's team steered to Performance Matters. They also signed a second one for $845,000, again with no bid. students.
That we just went through.
That contract was designed to track the professional development training that teachers are required to complete. At the time, Metro Schools was paying another company $6,250 a month for its SchoolNet service. Performance Matters offered its product for what turned out to be a $118,000 setup fee, plus almost $13,000 a month, piggybacking on a contract with Shelby County Schools. Dr. Joseph's team decided to go with the higher price.
I mean, that's just an absurd jump. I don't know why we'd be paying that much more for the same product.
My understanding is we were at a point where we didn't have time to conduct a normal RFP process.
Last June, Purchasing Director Jeff Gossage told the board that the district just did not have enough time to let other companies bid. But the emails show officials discovered there actually was time. The former Purchasing Director Gary Appenfelder emailed his bosses saying the immediacy of that need has been removed.
The administration's not being truthful with us. They're just not being truthful.
It sounds like they didn't want to bid this out.
No, I think that's a consistent theme on this particular contract is they didn't want to bid it. They wanted to rush it through.
Back in the summer, Joseph's team warned of dire consequences if both contracts were not renewed for another year. Still, they promised the second contract for professional development for teachers would soon be put out for bids to let other companies compete for the job.
We would probably need to have that RFP out sometime this fall.
Yes, maybe sooner.
Yeah.
But despite those promises, our investigation discovered Joseph's administration has not even started the process to let any other company compete for the Performance Matters contract.
Again, the board is not being told the truth on a lot of issues, and this seems to be some sort of cover-up.
Now, in a written statement, Metro Schools insists that any mistakes were made, quote, in good faith. As for that contract that Joseph's team had promised would be put out for bids this past fall, the district says, quote, MNPS is still working toward that goal. And we've uncovered even more about how your money has been spent. Our investigation continues tomorrow night on News Channel 5 at 6. Vicki?
We'll be watching. Thanks, Phil.